Hello everyone, and welcome to something a little different, which I'm naturally late to the party with. I thought you guys might be interested in my thoughts of the gaming year last year, so wanted to list my top 5 best and most disappointing games of 2018. This list concentrates on my top 5 best, and in a couple of days my most disappointing ones will be coming out. They will be in no particular order and will consist of games that both came out last year, but also games that may have come out beforehand, which I only played last year. I don't have a 5 worst because I didn't play any games I would think were awful. I try to avoid them and do as much research as possible before I purchase a game. Naturally, many of you may disagree with these choices, but that's okay. I would disagree with yours most likely. That's the wonder of opinions. They can be different, and if yours differs, we don't simply combust, so it's not a big deal. Let me know your guys' opinions below, and let's get started with the top 5 best. In no particular order, remember. And the first one is Zelda Breath of the Wild. So this year I got a Switch, and caught up with the sensation of 2017 that was Breath of the Wild. I can tell why this game got so much praise. I believe I described the game in one of my Let's Plays as a true adventure. I put so many hours into it, exploring and fighting monsters, looking for shrines and upgrading armour. It's a joy to play. I played this game on holiday in Wales in a peaceful valley on a sunny balcony, and it was bliss. That image will remain with me when I think back to this game. The only thing I didn't like about this game were the dungeons. It's the one time where the overworld in a Zelda game has outshined the dungeons, and they just felt like obstacles I had to tackle to get back to the real meat and progress in the real fun, the open world. Despite this, it's definitely one of the best games I've played last year, and one that I will go back to in future for sure. Now the next one is no surprise if you know me, and that's Red Dead Redemption 2. There is nothing I can say about Red Dead 2 that would describe how incredible of a game it is. There was a point until maybe 2 years ago that every summer I would replay the original Red Dead Redemption. It became a tradition to replay my favourite game of all time, until I sold my 360 because of a move to Australia and no longer had access to it anymore. I was looking forward to this game so much that I bought an Xbox One X and a 4K monitor just to make sure I was playing it in the best way possible. I also replayed the original again, before its release, with the Xbox One X's updated 4K graphics. Some might think this is insane, but why did I do all this? Well, the original had a massive impact on me when it first came out. Running up to its release, Rockstar noted a few films to watch to get in the mood, one of which was The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, which has since become my favourite film of all time. I now love westerns as a genre nearly as much as sci-fi and fantasy. I love reading about the time period and played all western games I could get a hold of, even Call of Juarez. Without the original Red Dead Redemption, I would never have given westerns as a genre a second look, but it opened a door for me, a gateway. I replayed the original every year because I loved it. It was my ocarina of time. When the first game means that much to me, and I honestly say that Red Dead Redemption 2, as a game, is 100 times better in every way, then it's truly something special. I know a lot of people find the mechanics unnecessarily tanky and slow, but this adds to the immersion and realism for me. It's methodical, realistic, beautiful, and somber. Every aspect is crafted and it shows. I love realism in games because I want to be immersed when playing. It has everything I could ever want in a game, and if a game can get me to hunt for a single moose for over 6 hours on a weekend so I can put a useless cosmetic in the camp that has no effect on anything, I think it says something about the game more than my questionable time choices. It was because every time I played, it was different, fun, beautiful and an adventure. I know I will be playing this game for years to come. Now the next one on this list is Astrobot, which is a fun, really fun PlayStation VR title, and is one of the most charming and fun experiences I've had in gaming in a very long time. If you have a VR, it is a must-have. Every single level has so much thought, care and detail put into it that it makes every single level feel unique and quirky. This game will just make you smile and think, how did they do that? The first time I saw my shadow in this VR game, I was amazed. It was so clever. There's a section where you come out of a water level and some seaweed gets stuck on your head, and you can shake your head back and forth to wobble it around. The use of perspective to find the extra collectibles in this game is genius, where you have to physically move around and look at everywhere to find all the hidden details. It's straight out of an indie perspective puzzle game with classic 90s platforming. The boss battles are a real treat visually and mechanically. There is a lot of character in every little bot, enemy, background and the tools that you get to use that will never get old. A lot of care went into this game and it shows. It's easily one of my best games of the year, and it's truly an experience, a new experience that I have never ever had the chance to play before. And it's one of those times when you play a game and you think, wow, this is really just taken a step forward. And that's VR for me. And Astrobot is easily the king of the VR world at the moment, in my opinion. Now, the next one is Kingdom Come Deliverance. And this one nearly hit my most disappointing list. That is, if I didn't give it a second try. The first time I played this game, I didn't treat it like a fully fledged open world RPG. I played it as if it was an on-rail story game. I just followed the story, went in blind, and got utterly bogged down by hard enemies, mechanics, and impossible boss battles. I got to what I thought was the final battle of the game, and just couldn't get past a section due to being underleveled and most of my backup being dead by that point, which left me getting charged by 5 soldiers in full plate with an arrow in my chest slowly bleeding to death. It was impossible. I gave up, watched the end on YouTube and ranted about it on Twitter. A few months later I picked it back up. I learned some tips and took my time. 67 hours later, and it's honestly one of the best RPG experiences I have had in years. I love history, so this historical setting was fascinating to me, and so much detail was put into the smallest things, so they are accurate to that time period, which is appreciated for someone like me who wants to be immersed into the world. The story is great, the swordplay is a challenge and rewarding, and it's just beautiful to look at. The soundtrack is peaceful and fits well with the setting and complements the game perfectly. If this game burned you like it burned me when I first gave it a go, give it another shot. Take it slow, kill bandits, sell their inventories for money, and practice fighting with Bernard, and you will truly have a great RPG experience. Enjoy the world, stop and look around, and read the books in the game. You won't find another medieval RPG like this, and I look forward to the next chapter. Also, if you enjoyed this game, I recommend picking up the book A Time Traveller's Guide to Medieval England by Ian Mortimer. Now the last one on my list is God of War. There's nothing I could say that hasn't already been said 1,000 times on YouTube. Like Red Dead, it has stuck with me months after playing it. One thing that I adore about this game is Bear McCreary's soundtrack, which is easily my most played album of the year on Spotify, and it led me to listening to his Outlander work, which is equally amazing. The story, atmosphere, graphics and gameplay for God of War are top notch, faultless, so good that I actually played all the arena missions, and I hate arena missions. They always feel like filler, tacked onto a game to make it seem more worth your money. Nearly a perfectly crafted single player experience. After playing this game, I went out and bought Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology novel and the Norse Myths by Carolyn Larrington, and enjoyed both books immensely. If a game has such an impression on you that you actively seek out other knowledge on the source material, then I truly believe it's really succeeded on leaving a lasting impression on the player. And that's exactly what this game did for me. It inspired me to learn more about the Norse mythology and replay the game dozens of times. It's a masterpiece. There's nothing more I can say that others haven't. Though, the Fog Realm that has that stupid time limit is utter garbage. And that's my list. Please leave your personal 5 best lists below. It would be great to read them. my disappointing list will be coming out in the next couple of days, so make sure to come back to check on that one. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a different video, not just concentrating on Total War. I had a lot of fun doing it. I've been wanting to do something like this for years, but never really got around to it. And you can tell that I was umming and ahhing about doing it because it's nearly February and these videos are coming out from last year. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I look forward to reading your guys' opinions down below. And thank you very much for watching, as always.